on air live, the Oklahoma City bombing 30 years later. And tomorrow does mark the 30th anniversary of the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history. 168 people, 19 of them children, were killed. Hundreds more were injured when the mastermind Timothy McVeigh parked a Ryder truck packed with explosives in front of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City. He then detonated that van. The massive blast destroying the federal building and damaging roughly 300 properties in the surrounding area. The estimated losses totaling more than $600 million at the time. The shocking attack and devastating loss of life forever changing America. So I'd like to welcome in now the president and CEO of Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, Kari Watkins. Kari, thank you so much for your time today. A really somber anniversary tomorrow. 30 years later, how is the city and the state still impacted by what happened?
Well, I think we're in great shape. I mean, we've spent the last 30 years understanding that day of darkness, but enjoying years of light. And that's because we've worked together, been united, rebuilt. We've rebuilt our city in a way that it is a city on a hill. It stands for other cities who go through trauma to come and learn from us. The families and survivors and first responders are in great shape. They've figured out how to put their lives back together and move forward. And everyone grieves and moves forward in different ways. And Oklahoma City is no different.
Absolutely. And I do want to talk about some of the positives that have come out of such a dark day. But first, just talk about why it is important to continue to recognize that day, to recognize what happened.
I think to understand contemporary memory and to teach it is very important. It's important to understand the senselessness of violence as a means for affecting any kind of change. And I think for us, it's very important to make sure we're teaching and remembering at the same time.
All right, so let's talk about, the fact that obviously so much fear, so much grief, so much pain associated with that day 30 years ago as we take a look back at some of the footage. But talk about some of the positive results that have come out of that tragedy.
Well, that really was a day of darkness. And then there was more than one day, realistically. But I think we've spent the last 30 years putting our lives back together, our community back together, rebuilding downtown, building by building, as lives were put back together. The Memorial Museum clearly stands as a testament for remembering and educating and making sure that we don't ever forget. It stands in the heart of downtown where the Murrah Building stood, and 3.5 acres around that site. But really, I mean, we have a city that has come back together, united. We have the best NBA team in the country. We have great corporations who are located here, great universities, colleges, federal agencies who stand as a testament of time that, that evil does not win.
Absolutely. And Kari, again, you are the president and CEO of that museum, of that memorial. Talk about what people can see there.
Well, you really are taken to the very first minutes, hours, days of the memorial, of the bombing, and really how this story unfolded in front of our community, as a part of our communities. People in our community came together to help. First responders came from not just Oklahoma City, but around the state and around the nation. 11 urban search and rescue teams were here as part of the FEMA national help, the federal help. I think what's most remarkable about this story is that you had a Democratic president, Bill Clinton, a Republican governor, Frank Keating, and a Republican mayor. And somehow those three figured out 30 years ago that politics had no play here, and they were just working for the good of the story, to fix the city, to fix the people, to help the people. And I think for us, we look back on that, we thought we were in a turbulent time then in politics, but today we look at it and understand that we've got to figure out how to come together on this sacred ground to find the common ground.
Absolutely. Last question for you, Kari. 30 years later, obviously, again, such a somber date tomorrow. What is your message to those not only there locally, but just the rest of America?
I think it's important to recognize the day of darkness, and it's also important to recognize the years of light, and to make sure that in all we do, we are the light. We go be the light, go do the good, go be the encourager, go be the kind person in the room, bringing people together, not tearing people apart, but bringing people together. So we look back 30 years, we know one key ingredient has saved our city, has helped us rebuild, and that is by doing it united as one. And that's just a lesson I think the whole United States can benefit from.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.